use the raise hand tool. If you need access to record this, just send me a note in the chat window. First question will come from David Teal. Go ahead, David.
Damon, Tony Bennett was saying that as he prepared for Saturday's game, he thought that he could tell that you had brought some NBA concepts with you to Georgia Tech. Is that so? And if so, what were they?
Yeah, I definitely brought some things from the NBA, and it's just as it's going to be evolving thing. Obviously, as I get different pieces, but just more of a 5-out concept, just more 5-out, more spacing. You need a lot of read and react kind of guys. Offense that's based on reads and playmakers, and you got to have some type of feel for the game as well. There's some things that again I tried to bring, but you got to tweak it to your personnel as well. You can't be stubborn with what you're trying to do either. You know what I mean? You got to make sure that it makes sense for the crew that you have. But yeah, definitely tried to bring some things with me.
Do you think, or do you feel like your guys have kind of embraced and responded to it and like it?
Well, the crazy thing about it is I think that the guys that have responded to it the best are the freshmen, Nate and Bob reflects in their play. By for me, he reminds me of a smaller Robert Williams. He's just not 6'11". But the way he sets screens, the way he can roll, the way he can rim read, the way he can finish. And then Nate is a guy that, he's great at decision making. He's great at making pocket passes. It's a lot of freedom involved there, but he's great at reads. Being great at reads makes it easy. And I think that, I would say, honestly, those two, they've probably been the best at it.
Ken Segura, go ahead, sir.
Hey, Damon. I had a question for you. You said something interesting after the game Saturday that I was hoping you could elaborate on. You were talking about, is your team going to be happy with winning in double overtime and then coming back and playing the way you did when you had a chance to build on that? And you said, you'll take the hits because you have to get these guys going and you have to figure that out. That's part of your process of figuring out how to do that. I was hoping you could, just talk a little bit more about kind of what that means for you, what that looks like as far as that figuring out part.
Well, it does. I'm a little bit different. So I look at basketball as teaching, nurturing, and I think you can serve lessons out of that. And so for me, me being a point guard as a player, although I'm a coach, I think the game as if I'm playing still. So I try to think about every scenario. And what I was essentially saying is that to me, this league in the short period of time that I've been in here, it's broken down. Like this league is a league where, coaches, they do what they do. And so you have a team, you have a league where you got, to me, strategic teams, and then you got teams that, so to speak, they try to hit you in the mouth. And I take Carolina and Duke out of the equation because I think that, they're different from the standpoint of, to a man, they might have, their sixth, seventh, eighth guy might could start on some of the other teams is more so what I'm saying. So from a talent perspective, they have a different type of talent than everybody else. But with Tony Bennett, Tony is strategic. Tony has a game plan. Tony plays a certain style. You know what I mean? Brad plays a certain style with those two bigs. I think that Earl Grant plays a certain style. I think that Mike Young plays a certain style, but then you play against NC State, and it's more up tempo. I think that I would put myself in the same category. So where I was actually going with that is that each game changes, and the guys got to know that. You can't play one way to win how we had to play against Clemson. You got to come back and you got to change your mindset playing against Virginia. Both of those teams are older teams. Clemson, their strength lies in their bigs. Virginia, their strength lied in their guards. And it's almost like we got to know these things. The attention to detail and knowing the scouting report and knowing who you're guarding is where my team struggles, because I don't think they've really collectively been asked to do the things that I'm asking. I'm from the pro mindset, but I also have been in college. So I feel like as a college coach, yes, you got to get in guys, you got to prepare, you got to teach habits. But I do believe in being fresh for the game. So to me, the study of film is just as important as being on the floor. And the turnaround time when you playing on Saturday, Tuesday, man, is a little bit different than playing on Saturday, Wednesday. And so we have to be better equipped to, when midnight strikes, whether we won or lost, we got to get ready for the next game, because each team has a scouting report. And I think my team don't understand that. Man, everybody has a scouting report, and you are what you put on film. That's what you are as a player. That's what I am as a coach. We put out there who we are, and that's what the other coaches will study with me, and the other players will study with our guys. And I want our guys to be better at that part, because to me, it's not always physical. It becomes a mental thing. And Ken, and even going back to that, if you think about some of the stuff that I was saying, some of the questions being asked, it was like, in terms of getting over or under on screens, but I was like, we didn't have no problem getting over and under on screens when we were up 10. That was my whole point. It's like, you got to fight. It's a different game. It's a totally different game. And so what we were asking our guys to do against Clemson is different than what you asked them against Virginia. And we have to be prepared for that. And that's the thing that I've been fighting and trying to get across to our guys. And that to me is why collectively we've had our moments, but we consistently been inconsistent. And that drives me crazy as a coach. So.
Very good. Perfect. Thank you.
Go next to Greg Medea.
Hey, Damon, I'm just wondering, did Virginia do anything differently to get Isaac McNeely as many looks as he got from deep against you guys? I think the previous games, he only had 4 total 3-point attempts, the 2 previous games. They didn't do anything different to get him some looks?
They didn't do anything different. And the thing about it is, Greg, because we watched his made threes as a team. So he had one in transition where Nate George went with Dunn instead of staying with the shooter, wide open, under out of bounds. The under out of bounds, we don't guard him. He hits a wide open jump shot. He made another one where we don't get off the ground for the contest. So then what happens when you make those? That was in the first half. And then so what happens in the second half? He hits a 9-1-1 because the rim looks big now for a guy that can shoot like him. Then he hits another one. And then at the end of the game, it's a 2-possession game, and we don't get off the ground to contest the 3, and he hits another one. So that to me is on us. Again, that's when I'm talking about like the scouting report. We did the same thing against BC with Harris. We was allowing Harris to get up. We got to do better against jump shooting guys, just in general. We got to do a better job of identifying where they're at, talking to each other on the floor, and then running them off the line and making them 2-point shooters, because I've always said threes beat you, 2s don't.
Thanks.
Hey, last question will come from Mark Berman. Go ahead, Mark.
Good afternoon. When you've gotten W's like against Duke or Clemson, are there certain things that certain areas you're performing pretty well in that you haven't been able to kind of recapture night in and night out?
Yeah, we just haven't been able to finish games, Mark. I think that's the biggest thing. If you look at all our games, with the exception of maybe Florida State, man, we've been right there. And I think, it's a maturation thing. And to be honest with you, I put a lot on them, but I just had a talk with them. I would like to see, my freshmen take over a little bit more at the end of the game. If you look back at our 2 wins in ACC against Duke and Clemson, they were the guys making the plays down the stretch. Whether it was Nate making the pass, making a shot, whether it was By making a pass, making a shot, those were the 2 guys that were making plays down the stretch. And I think we got to get back to that. I mean, I trust them. I trust their decision maker, and I think they're the future of my program. So, I think we got, I have to do a better job with that. But we got to finish games. We're right there to win games, but we got to finish them. And that's the beauty of it. But then again, you don't get points for almost winning. You don't get a half a point. This is not the CFL. They don't give us a point for coming close. What I mean? So
Thank you.
Damon, thank you for the time today. Appreciate it. We'll see you
all
next.
right, thanks. Yep.
All right, that wraps it up for today. Thank you, everybody.